The least common multiple of two numbers is the smallest number, the least number that is the multiple of each. So that means both numbers are going to be a factor of the least common multiple. They're going to be smaller numbers than the multiple. The least common multiple of 2 and 4 is 4 because both 2 and 4 can go into 4, and it's the smallest number that both 2 and 4 can go into. The least common multiple of 3 and 5 is going to be 15. Again, 3 can divide 15, 5 can divide 15, and it's the smallest number that they can do that. For 8 and 10, the way we can find this is by listing out multiples of 8. 8 times 1 is 8, times 2 is 16, 3 is 24, then 32, then 40, then 48, 56, 64, 72, 80, 88, and of course this can keep going on infinitely. For 10, we have, let's see, we have 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100, and of course it can continue indefinitely. And you can see here, common multiples are those that are the same between these two. We have 40, we have 80, and there's going to be infinitely many of them as well. 40, 80, maybe you can see the pattern here. The next one's going to be 120, then 160, then 200, 240, 280, and that's going to continue. Of course, the least common multiple is the smallest number that's a common multiple, which is going to be 40. Now, it's not really apparent why this is useful, but there's a lot of uses for the least common multiple, especially when working with fractions. But finding the least common multiple is really just asking what is the common multiple between the two numbers and what's the smallest one that we can find. So 4 and 5, we have common multiples of 4. It's going to be 4, 8, or sorry, just multiples of 4. 12, 16, 20, 24. For 5, 10, 15, and 20. That I can stop there because I can see the least common multiple is going to be 20. That's the first one that I saw, so that's going to be the least common multiple. Of 6 and 12, I know that the least common multiple here is 12 because 6 is going to be 6, 12, and for 12 times 1 is 12. Right there is a common multiple. I know that because 6 times 2 is 12, right? 6 can go into 12, therefore 12 has to be the least common multiple, since 12 can't go into anything smaller than itself. But it can go into itself. 12 divided by 12 is 1. 3 and 8, you can list out the multiples for this if you want. I know it's going to be 24. 3, it's going to be 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18, 21, 24, and 8 is 8, 16, and 24. The reason why I knew that right off the bat is because 3, the prime factorization of 3 is 3. The prime factorization of 8 is 2 times 2 times 2. And there is no common factor between the two of them. That means I know that I can just multiply 3 and 8 together and get 24 as the least common multiple. If there was a common factor, like there is for 12 and 15, it's not quite as easy to find, but you can still find it. This one's not too hard to list out. 12 times 2 is 24, then 36, then 48, and 60, and I'll stop there because I know that 50 is going to be a factor of 15, 30, 45, and 60. 60 is the smallest number that 12 and 15 can both divide evenly. They're both factors of 60. A way of seeing that, right? 12 is the same thing as 2 times 2 times 3. 15 is the same thing as 3 times 5. So the least common multiple has to be the one that has all of the factors in there. They share a multiple of 3. So I'm just going to write that once. But I need 2 2s. I need a single 3, since both of them have a single 3. And then a 5. And if you multiply this all out, you're going to get 60. But that's just one way of finding the least common multiple. You don't have to do this method. You can just list out multiples of these numbers, and you will find the least common multiple, just the smallest multiple that's in both lists.